You got a bucket? Because MGTOW Mando, or as he's known now in the chat, former medic Mando, is in the house, and I'm ready. I'm ready.
Right.
I'm ready for full tilt boogie. The dark tide is coming in twice over tonight.
God, this is my first time on stream. Dear God, I picked the interesting time.
I don't know, man.
Don't worry.
Hang on. I got to take my blood pressure meds. Before,
with beer, of course.
Let me drink my water. Yeah, we're preparing for this. Okay.
How you doing, Mando?
Oh, I'm good. Now, I asked
right.
this in the chat. But no one has had a chance to respond yet. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you guys: evil, strange, or funny?
Yes.
Yes.
We'll start off with evil.
After I got out of the medical corps, I went into the chemical corps, as most of you guys already know.
This is good.
This could be bad, right?
My first unit as a chemical soldier was in Fort Hood, Texas. They knew that I was a medic before then. An individual made the mistake of sending me to CLS and then asking me what lactated ringers does to somebody who does not have an open wound.
What?
CLS stands for Combat Lifesaver Course.
Lactated what?
Lactated ringers.
It's an IV bag.
Lactated ringers.
Oh.
Lactated ringer.
It's a volume expander applied intravenously.
Okay.
Basically, if you're bleeding out, it simulates much more plasma in your bloodstream than normally would be there.
Copy that. All right.
Now, given that, what do you think happens when you apply that stuff to somebody who does not have an amputation?
It's probably bad.
Does something pop?
Oh, it starts with the eyes.
Oh, shit!
Yeah, they start crying blood, I'm guessing.
Oh, no! Oh! Did he die?
Unfortunately, yes.
Oh, damn.
Oh, my.
So he started crying from the eyes and probably had a huge heart on.
Oh, the thing is, this particular individual, they had given this material to him out in the field when he was suffering from a heat injury.
Okay.
Pop, what's the appropriate treatment for a heat injury if you're doing it intravenously?
Well, you have to make sure that the lactate ringer isn't cold. Otherwise,
you don't use lactated ringers at all.
Well, I've used them before.
You're not supposed to unless it's an amputation.
No, they gave us the small ones, and then I had the 1 liter standard IV stuff.
Yeah, you're thinking of saline solution.
Okay.
Yeah, saline.
That's what you're supposed to get for heat injuries.
Because that was the first thing that came into my head, but I'm not a combat medic, obviously.
See, they just all the IV bags. They
look the same. That's why if you're in garrison, you're not supposed to have LR at all unless you're an actual combat medic.
Yeah. Because I've actually given myself an IV before because I was like literally two hunt hairs away from heat stroke.
If you gave yourself a small bag of LR, you probably didn't have much of an issue. Maybe you got a bit of a headache, possibly ended up with a little more pressure when you pissed, but that would be about it.
Okay.
If you had one of the bigger bags,
it'll fuck you up.
Yeah. This particular individual died of a cerebral hemorrhage. The eyes popped, the ears popped, and you saw blood coming out of the nose.
Oh, what was that? That one movie with Schwarzenegger and Mars?
Total Recall.
Yeah. When he goes out and
kind of like
his
that.
eyes pop out.
Yeah.
No. Have you made the mistake of watching the new Fallout TV series that Amazon did?
No.
This guy's eyes looked like blood blisters.
Ooh.
Oh, it's like a Mortal Kombat finisher. What the fuck, man?
Damn. Fatality.
So
that is the strange.
So he gave it to himself?
That's the strange, okay.
No, this was a CLS guy who did not pay attention to what he was doing and applied a 500 milliliter bag.
Oh,
no.
This is bad, right?
Yeah. Well, I already told you what the end result was.
Oh. Yeah, what happened to him? I mean, the guy who did it. I mean, I'm guessing
he got sent to Leavenworth for involuntary manslaughter.
That'll do it.
What's Leavenworth?
That's like the big
The Army
pound
prison.
in the ass jail for the Army.
But it was accidental, though. I mean,
They
No,
considered it
manslaughter.
manslaughter.
That's why it's manslaughter.
yeah. Oh my god.
Damn, man. All right, so that was the strange.
You want the funny or the evil? Because I know you got other callers.
Let's go funny and then evil.
All right.
Yeah.
I was doing moulage as a field medic in a reserve unit. on Fort
Moulage
McCoy,
is
Wisconsin.
fake wounds they put on you, and then you have to go through the rigmarole
okay.
treating them.
All right.
Now, I was given a dummy that fell out of a helicopter and had an impalement.
Okay.
I took one of the rubber ducks, cut it in half, had it embedded in the dummy's abdomen, took a bunch of nylons, loaded it up with a bunch of blood packs, which were just simulated blood gel shit.
Yeah.
Really disgusting looking.
The raspberry jam.
Pretty much.
Jam. I always used corn syrup. No,
Pretty much loaded
dairy
that.
coffee creamer.
Loaded that up, made it basically look like a good chunk of intestines laying around on the ground.
Oh yeah, it's
Ran out to the site, jammed the rifle barrel into the ground first, jammed the dummy on top of the rifle barrel, spread the fake intestines, took a bunch of the blood effects material that we had, ran it through a hose item, and sprayed it around so it looked like an extra scene from Jaws.
A hose item.
Hose item.
I'm not going to explain what it was, Pop. You already probably know. But the individual who came upon this particular scene was an Army firefighter and an EMS tech in real life. Ended up revisiting his MRE.
Just from setting up this fake scene with a dummy.
Yeah.
Pussy.
Wow.
I went to the nines with this thing. I took some stuff to like adipose tissue, aka fat. The only thing I didn't do, which happened naturally, was add a couple of crows, which Fort McCoy, crows,
they're everywhere.
And had a couple of them deciding to pick at the body. To make things even more fun, I stuck part of the butt of the rubber duck through in the back, so it looked like it punched all the way through.
Oh,
yeah.
Quack, quack.
When I was in basic, we actually rolled a cattle car, and one of the guys in our company had his M16A1 smashed into his lung.
Nice.
And he's like holding it, and the blood's coming out of the ejection port. And he's like, "This is bad, isn't it?"
Bad, right?
He probably just right the artery there.
No, he was fine. No, they took him to the hospital, pulled it out. He was fine. Because you're 19, you're indestructible.
Pretty close.
Yeah. No, he didn't say this is bad. He just had that look on his face.
Apparently, that particular individual saw my first sergeant and was like, whoever the sick individual was that put that together needs some counseling.
Yes, I concur.
Yeah.
I was sitting there eating a spaghetti MRE at the time. It's like, it was me.
You sick bastard. I love it.
Yes, it was me.
You like those intestines? There's more where that came from. I got the miniature version right here, baby.
Let me get the rest of it out of my teeth right quick. I'll be right with
you. Now this one is actually
evil.
This one is actually evil, and I am going to warn people that are squeamish. You might want to go on mute.
Okay.
Not you, Pop.
Oh, all right.
You got to stay.
While I was still a medic, specifically, I was an OR tech at the time. I was stationed at Landstuhl, Germany. We had all sorts of individuals come in with all sorts of injuries.
Okay.
What year was that?
I left in 06.
When did you get there?
04.
All right. So I was going through there in 04 as well. So I was in Langstuhl.
This particular incident occurred December 2004.
Okay.
Oh,
we had a soldier arrive from Afghanistan with a massive abdominal hemorrhage, internal and external.
Ooh.
They were unable to get him transported out of theater for 72 hours. and he was beginning to develop abdominal gangrene.
Oh my God!
God.
This particular soldier was wrapped with that special medical saran wrap shiza that is supposed to allow stuff out but not allow stuff in. Pop, I'm sure you saw the stuff even if you don't remember the name of it.
I'm sure I've seen it.
Well, this particular individual, the odor alone was so bad because it was a perforated bowel. The stomach was nicked. The liver was nicked. And at least a quarter of the intestinal wall for the small intestine was sheared off.
Oh my God!
He was dead. That's immediate care. You got to get him somewhere quick.
He was
72 hours. They let him sit there.
Sandstorm conditions. They couldn't get any bird in the air.
Holy shit!
That septic shock, infections. Yeah. Oh God.
Well, the smell was so bad, we actually had to shut down half of the OR suite for Landstuhl. 4 of the 8 rooms inoperable for 72 hours after this.
Oh my God!
Did the room itself, they actually had to go and completely sandblast to within like 2 millimeters of the upper surface.
Wow!
Did he live?
As far as I know, yes.
Wow. Damn, that's lucky.
I was there. I was there during December of 2004.
By the time you're that far gone, man, that's very lucky.
Like I said, as far as I know, he came into the hospital breathing. He went out of the hospital breathing.
Good enough
Beyond
for me.
that, I know nothing.
Wow,
dude, that's fucked up.
I was in there for the initial unwrapping.
Oh, I bet that was the worst part.
This is where you're going to have a problem. Oh, and that's the last time you're going to get
water. Don't tell me there's maggots.
Yes.
Oh God!
But it's worse.
God! Why the hell could be
maggots? There's worse than maggots?
The fecal matter and adipose tissue, fat tissue, was sticking to the plastic as we were unwrapping it. So we were essentially peeling away this man's skin over his stomach, and a good 4 inches deep of swollen, pus-filled adipose tissue.
Look!
Man.
The odor and the appearance is something that is so horrific that I'm not going to go into any further detail on, because I can see Pop's already about to lose it in Ascension.
So that is fucked up.
So basically, at this point now, nothing bothers you.
You need a shovel.
No.
You need a shovel and a flamethrower. Oh God.
First of all,
that was the only time when Landstuhl was having spaghetti or lasagna for lunch that I chose to get a hamburger.
You're such an asshole.
God. We used to do gastric bypasses, and I would get lasagna.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, the smell, like when somebody gets opened up like that, it's just ungodly horrible.
Like I said, the smell alone is why we had to shut down half of the OR.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like when I came across guys, they had literally been smoked within 1 to 4 hours.
Oof. Yeah,
and they're already dead. All right, so there's really not a lot of maggots or anything, and like that is a whole other level of horror. Right,
sitting to fester for 72 hours, man. That is just
damn.
Hey, Pop, how's that for?
I'd gotten interested in Warhammer 40K a couple of months before that. And after this particular incident, I remember going to the comic shop that I used to go to do that. And one of my opponents was running Nurgle, and I was like, oh, you must have seen what I saw.
Yeah, Nurgle are the race in 40K that are
disease.
They are compelled with disease.
Disease.
Wait, normally?
This guy's abdomen looked like a great unclean one's abdomen.
Oh
boy!
I'm not going to send you the image.
Please don't.
That's
I'm
fine,
sure you can Google it.
Either way, I mean, you're just. I think Alucard has a huge erection right now.
Do you have a picture
Sick
of it?
bastard.
Wait a minute.
No. Don't.
Now, you want a picture of Alucard's erection, homo suspicion point?
You are fined 1 homo suspicion point for violation of the Man Code morality statute.
I rebuked that. I was talking about a bloated body.
I rebuked that.
I rebuked that.
You just brought up probably the second worst part of this whole thing.
What's that?
This guy had a pus-filled priapism.
A what?
Pus-filled priapism.
Priapism.
Is that a penis?
That's the hard-on that lasts for more than 4 hours.
Needle in the wiener. All right.
Needle in the wiener.
I actually had to take a scalpel to it to get that to drain.
That was a critical hit on the popster. His HP is now 50%.
That was bad.
So, Blake, you're talking
I'm not going to show anymore because I've got some other ones, but it would get you.
I think we're good. I think we're good on that one.
You've done enough, sir.
It would get you completely nuked off of YouTube if I were to share some of my other ones.
All right.
We'll talk Ungilded then.
All right.
I actually look forward to this.
Blake?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to ask you this just because I know it'll mess with them. Can you give a Barrage and a Jimmy with one of his new ghoul friends?
Absolutely. How about Rosie and Jimmy and the Barrage is incoming. You have a good night, sir. Thank you very much for joining in.
All right.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporters Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.